Hey there, Richard Matharoo. So, what can you do if you're a network marketer and you want to use Facebook ads to build your business? Like, obviously, Facebook says in its terms of service, we won't allow people to promote network marketing companies on our platform. Yet, how do people like me constantly use them to promote our business? I want to give you some help on that because maybe you're in a situation where you're like, well, I'd love to use them, Richard, but I don't want to get my account shut down, so I've not even bothered. Or you've tried and been disapproved and kind of got disheartened in the past. Let me help you with that in today's training. So this, by the way, I mean, my drawings are terrible. My training is good, but this is you with a disapproved ad and a happy ad, like approved ad. That's what this is showing, okay? I was procrastinating before I hit record. So the first thing to look at is obvious terms. There are a few things that Facebook does not like you to say. Its algorithm that looks through your ads before a human takes a look will automatically shut an ad down if it has the word, say for example, as I record this video, MLM. If you use MLM, even if you're saying MLM has 3 letters, there's my ad, it's probably going to get disapproved because the algorithm sees that term, goes, this is not allowed, no thank you. So it doesn't make any sense, right? Because you can say anything about that word. It could be completely nothing to do with it, but just avoid that pain by knowing that term at this moment is not allowed. Network marketing is okay. Okay, network marketing, it seems to be allowing that, although you can't specifically promote network marketing unless you do a few more things, which I'll come to. Also, specific claims, like you can say, hey, if you want to improve your results, you want to grow your team, those things are allowed. But if you say, do you want to grow, do you want to add 3 people to your team in the next 24 hours, it's going to be no. Because Facebook's like, well, you can't guarantee that physical result. You can say to somebody, hey, I want to help you increase XYZ, but if you say increase this number by this time and this day, again, it's very funny about that. So what can we do to actually, if we've got these correct terms in, what can we then promote and get away with without having our ads disapproved? Well, this moves us on to the next points. Number 2 is something that Dan Henry taught me. Dan Henry's a Facebook ads expert, and he talks about seasoning your account. Seasoning your Facebook ads account. Think of about 5 ads that would easily, they're going to be pretty mellow. We're not expecting any results from them, but we're just putting them out there, maybe throwing $50 or $100 at them just to get some approved ads in our account. And even if you've had approved ads before, but you've had a run of disapproved, this is again to overcome that, to start to see Facebook seeing your account more positively. So you can think about just maybe doing a couple of quotes, maybe just a couple of images with you out for the day, just something really general, non-promotional, super simple. Run about 5 of those ads, invest the $50 or $100, get those ads approved, let them run through their entire budget, so that when it becomes to somebody looking at your account or the algorithm, it's going to see approved, 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 approved. You don't want a completely blank account and then a testing one close to the edge, kind of talking about network marketing, right? It just makes sense. It's like building trust with the algorithm. So that's number 2, season your account. Also, number 3, you want to talk about what it does, not what it is. This is how the major way we can get around promoting, okay? Does, not is. So, and it's really important this, so let's bring out the power blue marker, does, not is. So I had a message from a lady day before yesterday. I get a lot of messages from network marketers looking for help. And she said, I'd love to promote my business on Facebook ads, I know you do, but it doesn't allow me to promote CBD oil. So my product itself is banned from Facebook. I didn't know that was true, but she told me that it is. So how do I get around that? I said, well, instead of talking about what it is, we got CBD oil, or whatever you want to call it, talk about what it does. Think of a particular market, because you want to be specific with ads anyway. You don't want to pay to show everybody who's not interested, like a billboard. The whole benefit of Facebook ads is we can slice up the population and only pay and show the people who are most interested, right? So I said, slice up their audience. Like, not literally, but I mean in terms of demographics. I said, who is your main customer that you want to go for? She was like, well, I'm someone that had a child a few years ago, and, I'm just trying to get my energy back on track, didn't realize the lack of sleep, the extra, we know what it's like as a parent, right? It's an extra demand, a happy one, but it still brings your energy down. I said, well, why don't you focus on people with young children who are looking to try and find more energy? Talk about what it does, right? I have a product that helps I used to suffer with my energy. Becoming a mum was challenging. I love it, but something I wanted was to get more energy so I could invest more with my children and create more memories. So I'm thankful I found a product that allows me to do that, and I'd love to share it with you. You can click this link and find out more. So it's talking about that, the benefit, as opposed to the listing the ingredients and running that risk. And then this brings us on to point number 4. That's an example of does not what it is. You can do that with health and wellness. You can do that with network marketing. You know, you could talk about the benefit of free time, freedom. All these things would allow you to gain people coming to you who would be a good fit for MLM, right? You want to recruit somebody. What do you want to recruit them for? You want to recruit them because they want to have more money, but it's not the money. What do they want the money for? If you can think a couple of steps like and more advanced, well, the kind of people I want them to be single dads who would like to be able to have more time with their children but haven't got the money to do that. Well, speak on that, and they're going to find that you're going to have a more receptive audience and a better ad anyway, and you're not going to run the risk of it being disapproved. And when you've got that, understand the process of ads, okay? Within the first 24 hours, usually, they'll look at your ad. The algorithm looks at your ad. And then within the next 48 to 72, so we'll say up to about 3 days later, they're going to look at the link that it goes to. So if, let's say, for example, you have an ad and it's that one I just spoke about. You know, want more energy, I have this product, I'd love to share it with you. You're probably going to send them to a page, a lead capture page, right? If you're smart, because you want their email address. Now, Facebook will look at this and make an initial decision on the ad. Within a few days, it will look at this, okay? So both of these have to be compliant. Both of these have to be compliant. Otherwise, it's going to get approved. A couple of days is going to get shut down. You've wasted your time anyway, right? So understand that both of these need to be compliant. So it isn't going to look past there. They're not going to look past there. So as long as you're saying in your ad, hey, you know, I'm a mother, I found energy, blah, 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 I'd love to share the product with you. And then you're like, hey, you probably read my story on Facebook about how I got my energy. Here's, where shall I send the info to? Email, right? You put in there. You're not mentioning CBD. You're not mentioning network marketing. Then when you come past this page, Facebook isn't going to opt in. When they come past this page, you are free to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So if you're talking about dads that want to spend more time with their kids, and then dads, hey, where shall I send this info? After that, you can say, I'm using network marketing. Here's a business model, whatever you want to say. So bear that in mind, that it's not like we can't talk about it at all. You've just got to be a little bit smarter and understand the process to know when is the correct and fruitful time for you to introduce it. And if anything, that works better that way anyway. Because if you come right at the beginning and say, hey, I want to recruit you for my MLM, it raises resistance anyway, doesn't it? Well, why? What value? I don't even know you. So this actually gives you a great way of providing some value, keeping your marketing nice and low in resistance, and then bringing in the actual message once there's already some trust and rapport. So that's going to work better anyway. Something else as a kind of a final bonus point that I would give you that can work is keeping them in Facebook. So let's say native to the platform. Facebook doesn't want to send people away from its platform. That's people spending less time there looking at ads, earning money. So they want to keep people on Facebook. So I've sometimes seen if an ad is kind of, I feel it's like close, maybe it's been disapproved, and I'm like, well, man, I feel that really is okay. You can approve, they will give you a chance to approve, but what you can try initially, if it doesn't make any difference to you, is instead of maybe say sending somebody to a lead capture page, you may want to send them on to something like a Facebook Messenger list. So I use something called ManyChat, which means you can set up a flow where someone will say, hey, yeah, I want to send a message to this person, and you can then bring them onto a list. Instead of it being an email list, it's a Facebook Messenger list. But because you're keeping them in Facebook, they're sending you a message as opposed to going to an external page. Facebook is more favorable to kind of promote, to say yes to those. Now, it doesn't mean you can ignore all this. You can't say, hey, join my MLM team, I'm a spammer, but hey, I'm going to do a Facebook group to let you know about this. That's not going to work. But I'm saying if you're doing these things and you're like, man, this must be close, it's getting disapproved, try switching it, say, to a Facebook group instead of an external page. Or try switching it to a messenger ad where they send you a message to get the info, so it's keeping them inside of the platform. It's more likely to be approved. Because of course then again, you're removing this extra kind of check that they're taking a look at. Something else on this page, Remember I said like after within 48, 72 hours I look at your lead capture page. If you don't have like things like terms of service, if you don't have things like privacy policy, if you don't have a disclaimer saying this page has nothing to do with Facebook, they can be silly little things that you forget that are often ads are disapproved for. They're getting better at giving you feedback nowadays. So usually if it's disapproved, it will give you a reason so you can do something about it, and you can request a manual approval. I've had ads many times overturned by explanations, and then what I do is if I get a few disapproved, I'll once again throw some simple ads at it. I know I get approved, and then I tend to be back in the green all the way again. So anyway, we've got like 7 or 8 minutes now. In fact, we've got 10 minutes now. Extra value. I hope did you gain something from this? Hopefully now we can get rid of this sad face and you can be a happy face. My advice to you, if you're like, well, okay, I now understand it, but should I do it? Facebook ads offers a unique opportunity to scale predictably. I like that. I like being able to do things on predictability. What I would say is only invest a budget you can afford to lose at the onset. You're going to take time to learn what works for you and your audience. I could sell you some kind of Facebook ads course right now and take your money, but you need a budget. You need a budget to be able to say, okay, I can afford $100, or you need a minimum of $3 to $5 a day. I can afford $100, $150 a month, but I don't expect a return on that. Not until I've figured this stuff out. Now, obviously getting courses and training will speed that process up, but still, it's very rare somebody comes into even a program and says, okay, day 1 course, day 2 ad, day 3 profit. So anybody tells you that, they just can't guarantee it. Nobody knows how the marketplace will react to your face, your voice, your offer. No one knows this stuff. It takes time to refine this and kind of keep the winning ads and lose the losers until you get to something you can scale. I just want to tell you the truth to save you some wasted expectations and frustration. So bear that in mind. Have a budget you're willing to lose to gain the information, to make the progress. So one day, it doesn't take you more than maybe a couple of months. You can master it and then scale from there. If you like my training, if you like this guy has helped me a little bit in this video, I'd appreciate a like, but also it just helps me share my message and grow my audience as quick as possible. I want to get more eyes on what I'm teaching, but also I've got a brand new Facebook group on Facebook, as you would expect, called Authority Networkers, specifically for you if you want to learn this kind of stuff. Like, this, for me, is how someone would want to go full-time as a network marketer. Like, if you just want a couple of $100 a month, don't need to bother with Facebook ads. But some of you watching or listening are going to be like, a couple $100? Like, I want a couple of thousand, then 5, then 10, then 20. Or you're already at that level, but you're pulling your hair out because you can't maintain it without phone calls like a sales rep. If you want to know more automated leverage ways, such as using ads, such as using branding, such as other things like that, then I'm able to teach you that kind of stuff in that Facebook group. In fact, just for joining that group, I'll give you a free 2-part training called the 4 pillars that are essential if you all want to build a full-time level of income as a network marketer. That group will be a great resource if that sounds like something you want to do. I'll put the link in the text beneath this video, or if you're listening on the audio, on the podcast, it'll be in the description area for the text as well. I'll put that Facebook group there. I think that's it. I think I'm done. I've covered everything I wanted to cover. As always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires and excuses. I'll catch you on the next training and inside that group if you make it. Bye for now.